MLB double gamer for Wednesday night. Let's break them down. We'll talk about the Phillies and the Brewers in just a minute. I'm going to start with the Cubs and the Braves. We got Bryce Elder on the mound for Atlanta tonight. And Elder, let's call him inconsistent at best. He got roughed up a lot over the first half of the season. They stuck with him largely out of necessity. And, Atlanta went 3-10 over a 13 start span for Bryce Elder. Then all of a sudden, last couple of starts, he's thrown 3 gems his last 4 trips to the hill. His last 2 starts, 21 ground ball outs, 9 strikeouts, 13 innings of work, only 3 runs and 6 hits allowed. Really back-to-back gems for Elder. Brian Snitker, Atlanta's manager, quote, "He's been throwing the ball really well. Really well. It's great to see. He had some struggles, but man, just the efficiency and the sinker has been really good. The slider, everything." That's a positive quote from the manager. The Braves 3-1 his last 4. The only loss during that span came 2-1. What are we going to do with Elder and the Braves that look to avoid the sweep in the series finale at Wrigley tonight? Let's talk about it. Teddy covers WagerTalk.com with a big game breakdown and looking at my Odds Logic live odds screen. Get a free 7-day trial and check out this Odds Logic live odds screen. I'm telling you, it's a good product. OddsLogic.com/Teddy, 7-day free all access. But looking at the live odds screen right now, I'm seeing Chicago in the minus 145, minus 150 range. Total sitting at 8.5. We've seen a little bit of move to the under this morning. Yesterday I did a video about the Cubs and the Braves, and what I said about Atlanta in that game was true. I made a recommendation for Chicago in that contest. I said, look, it just gets harder and harder for the Braves to bounce back off of every frustrating defeat, given how this season has been for them. Atlanta leads the league, leads the major leagues in one-run loss. 33 one-run losses this season. That's as demoralizing as it gets for a team that has not lived up to expectations, and obviously another one yesterday after blowing a lead the previous day. This Braves team went on a nice 10-2 run. Mid-August, I thought, hey, maybe there's money-making potential for Atlanta down the stretch. Well, 4-8 since, so it hasn't lived up. They haven't lived up to expectation. They got swept in Texas in this spot. They avoided 2 sweeps. 3 times since the All-Star break, we've seen Atlanta facing a sweep on the road. They got swept in Texas. They avoided sweeps against the Phillies and the Mets. But that being said, the Phillies was a 4-game series, so it wasn't a true comp to this one. This is a Braves team that we cannot expect to dig deep to win these type of ball games. It's just not the case. And the price is relatively cheap to fade them here. Before I talk about Chicago's side of the equation, let me ask you guys a simple favor. If you like this type of analysis, please hit that like button. Makes all the difference. It's as simple as it gets. Thank you. And of course, comment below. Tell us what you think about the MLB slate tonight. And of course, in addition, we appreciate those of you who are subscribing to the WagerTalk YouTube channel. Well over 200,000 of you. If you haven't done so, get instant alerts every time these videos go live. Like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you. I also want to let you know about what's going on my homepage, wt.buzz/TC. I know it's an MLB video. We got to talk NFL because this is the first weekend of the NFL season. I'm 30-11, 73% in Week 1 NFL action over the last 10 years. I'm 8-2, 80% with my NFL big tickets the last 10 years in Week 1. We're locked and loaded. Check it out, wt.buzz/TC. Everything, of course, documented at WagerTalk.com. So when we talk about the Cubs right now, Cade Horton's throwing gems. This guy allowed 4 runs total in 30 innings of work in August. He allowed 4 runs all in one game in 23 innings in June, 3 shutout performances during that span. The Cubs 6-1 his last 7 starts. Horton's not a guy I'm looking to step in front of. His quote, talking about the team, quote, "It's a really good moment to start heating up. In all honesty, you don't want to be hot the 1st of August. You want it late August, September, carry that all the way up into the postseason. It's good building momentum on all that. Just continue to stay the course." The better bet here might be the total on the side. Lean's going to be Chicago. But I think the under might be the better bet. The weather on the north side tonight, we got a chance of rain. What happens when it's going to rain, especially on getaway day? The strike zone gets a little bit wider. Just natural. The winds are shifting this evening. They're starting out blowing to the side, and they're supposed to shift blowing in from left field as the game progresses. 8 of Horton's last 10 starts, 7 combined runs or less. And oh, by the way, those 3 avoid the sweep games for Atlanta since the All-Star break. Under in those contests. Either the Braves or their opponent scored 1 run or less in all 3 of those contests. So, getaway night in Chicago. Let's go under 8.5 for the Cubs and the Braves. Again, appreciate those likes, appreciate those comments, appreciate those follows very, very much. WT.buzz/TC is my homepage at WagerTalk. Now, let's talk about the Brewers and the Phillies, a battle of 2 first-place teams. And look, my MLB season wins for the clients this year. It looks like I'm going to split. But one that I got absolutely right, couldn't be more right, would be the Brewers over 82.5 wins. That one has cashed already. It cashed before September 1st. We call those right side winners in my business. And Milwaukee over back in March when I was making these plays stood out to me. And it's worked out, obviously, with the Brewers currently having the best record in the major leagues. The Phillies are the second best record in the majors. Let's talk about it. Teddy covers with another big game breakdown from WagerTalk.com. And again, looking at the Odds Logic live odds screen right now, basically a pick'em game. -105, -110 for Milwaukee. There are some -115s out there, but pretty close to pick'em for this one. Total, we've seen money for the over. 8.5 at the open, bet up to 9. Now we're seeing 9 with a little bit of juice to the over. So I understand it. And look, Milwaukee went on one of the most impressive streaks we've seen from any team in recent baseball history. You see it happen. Teams get hot. The Brewers got stupid hot, and they stayed hot for a long time. They went 29-4 over a 33-game span, before and after the All-Star break. As hot as anybody. That's how they have the best record in baseball. But the rest of the season, take away that one stretch, and admittedly, that one stretch, if you rode Milwaukee, you made a fortune. But take away that one stretch, we're talking about a team that's about where they're supposed to be, a little bit above 500 for the season. And that's the way the Brewers should be priced. Yes, they had a hot stretch, but this team is, 85, 88 win team, 82.5 over. That's good. But right now, because they have the best record in baseball, they're being priced perhaps a little bit better than they should, perhaps a lot better than they should. And look, they're not playing great. They've lost, 9 of their last 15 ball games, so 6-9 their last 15. The pitching's a little bit dicey right now, especially given the injuries that they've had. Trevor McGill's on the IL. D.L. Hall's on the IL. Grant Anderson on the IL. Shelby Miller had a pop in his elbow the other night, the big trade deadline acquisition. He's hurt. He's not going to play. That's a concern for the Brewers, who've kind of lived on clutch hitting and solid relief pitching all season long. Now the bullpen, in my mind, has a lot of question marks. And this is not an elite lineup for Milwaukee. It's not, they've been really good through the batting average and balls in play. Much higher than league average, number 2 in baseball. And they walk a lot. I give them credit for those 2 things, but I don't know if either one sustains moving forward. And when we look at the other side of the equation, all right, so the Brewers have cooled off. They've got injuries galore, and they've been a little bit lucky with the batting. The number 2 in BABIP is kind of not a huge deal, but it's something to pay attention to. All right. Oh, by the way, they just completed a stretch of 19 games in 18 days. Yesterday was their first day off. Exhale time for Milwaukee after that brutal scheduling stretch. All right. There's one other factor to consider here as well that we should not forget. When Milwaukee was as hot gets, they went into Philadelphia and they swept the Phillies in Philadelphia. I think it's the only time all year the Phillies have been swept on their home field. The Phillies have not forgotten that. Brewers manager, Pat Murphy. They got a great club, and we swept them in Philadelphia, and they remember it. It's a weird dynamic for this series, all right? They took a day off yesterday, which means fresh bullpens for both teams. Given Milwaukee's bullpen injuries, Philadelphia's got the edge in the pen today. Philadelphia's got the better lineup today, and, I'm certainly thinking over for this ballgame. Obviously, the markets have gotten there already. 8.5 up to 9, now 9 with juice. So we've missed the boat on the total for this ballgame. But the lean is over. I do worry about the fresh bullpens off yesterday's day off. But what do we see? A 10-8 slugfest in the first game of this series, and we could see another one tonight. But from an a priori standpoint, all right, I'm not worried about the starting pitching matchup. Nola versus Quintana, both guys have question marks. Quintana's got a less than 10% strikeout rate. He got hit hard last time out. I've got concerns about him. Nola certainly hasn't been great coming off injury this season, many stretch of the imagination. Though we've seen some signs that he's getting better, this isn't a battle and a pick based on starting pitching. Nonetheless, the Brewers right now, one-way team. Again, 6-9 last 15, priced like they're elite. And they're good, but they're not elite. I think we fade Milwaukee here. So Phillies or pass for this better. Lean to the over as well in Milwaukee on Wednesday night. We appreciate those likes. We appreciate those comments. We appreciate the follows very, very much. Again, NFL Week 1. I understand this is a baseball video, but I've been real good in Week 1. I want to get you guys involved. If you're interested, check out the homepage, wt.buzz/TC. Get on board. 30-11, 73% NFL Week 1. The last 10 years, 8-2, 80% with the big tickets. I do have a big ticket this week, a 5% play in NFL action, and we're locked and loaded with 4 winners already. We may have more before kickoff. Check it out, wt.buzz/TC. Thanks for watching. Enjoy the games. Best of luck with all your bets, and stay tuned right here on the WagerTalk YouTube channel for more quality free play content. Cheers.